In the fast-paced world that we live in, everyone is always on the go. We idealize and hype up working long hours, studying 10-hour days and 100-hour weeks. But why? Why are we obsessed with talking about how to work harder and longer, when in reality, the average person should be thinking about how to actually work lesser man hours, work more efficiently, and still achieve everything we want in the same time? In this video, I go over the things that I practically did to speed up my work and the reasons I started to genuinely accomplish a lot more on the days that I did maybe 3 to 4 hours of work compared to the days that I put in a full 10 hours of work. Let's get straight into it. Limit all the tasks, the meetings, and the specific topics you need to study, and only focus on the important ones, the vital few. So when I got to uni, I cut down all the studying I was doing to the bare minimum. I'd only learn the vital few things that I needed to know and forget about the rest. No questions asked. And the funny thing is, I still scored the same top grades that I was scoring back in school. Check out the specific active recall strategy that I was using for my university exams right here. But basically, I wanted to do so much more at uni than just work. So I started following the 80-20 principle on steroids. You've probably heard about it before. 80% of the results come from 20% of the time and effort. And it was this 20% that I really hammered down on. By genuinely ignoring all the extra information, all the extra work that I had to do that day, I cut down my work time in half. I'm not joking. I've timed myself. Now, practically speaking, for an exam, what you need to do to filter out the high value content, the vital few things you need to know to get that 80% result, is that you need to go through the syllabus, objective by objective, line by line, go through the course description and really understand everything that you need to know before you even start your revision. And usually, once I did this, differentiating between the high value topics and the extra reading type stuff became so much easier. I knew exactly what I was going to focus on, and doing this stopped me from wasting time on those useless details that I would usually spend hours going down a rabbit hole to try to understand. But because I went through the syllabus, because I knew that these details play such a small part in that wider picture, I knew that it'd be way more beneficial to just jump on the next topic. No debate. And by having this mindset, you just end up getting through a huge amount of content in such a small amount of time, because now you're actively eliminating or ignoring the stuff that you already know or the things that you don't really need to know. The simple act of looking at the syllabus before you start your revision brings the concept of the vital few, brings the 80-20 principle right to the forefront of your mind. And it truly ends up being the difference between the person that spends 3 hours trying to do a topic and the person that spends 30 minutes on it. Deep work is defined as focused, uninterrupted, and distraction-free work on a task. I was always skeptical about the concept of deep work. And in my head, I was like, how can anyone really create this perfect state of laser focus the whole time that they're working? It just seemed too unrealistic. And then I actually read Deep Work by Newport and realized that it isn't about focusing hard for a 10-hour work session. Deep work firstly only lasts for about 3 to 4 hours for most people. And practically, it only involves 2 basic things to actually get started. Firstly, it involves scheduling a simple, consistent 3 to 4 hour time block per day to get the main bulk of your work done. And second, it involves training yourself to resist distractions in that small 3 to 4 hour block of time. By limiting your work to that distraction-free 4-hour block of time, your work rate will massively increase and you'll start to make the most meaningful progress in that short time. This won't just happen all of a sudden, but if you can consistently do these 2 things, you will see gradually that bout of improvement in how much stuff you get done in that short period of time. I know it sounds simple, but if you think about it, when have you ever limited yourself to that 3 to 4 hour time block? Most of us wake up on that super motivated Monday morning and dedicate the whole day to studying a ton at the library. And I remember working the whole day and at the end of it feel like I barely did anything, which was probably true. Out of the 10 or 12 hours that I worked, only maybe 2 or 3 of those hours were effective. And the rest was probably a mixed combo of emails, scrolling, Zoom meetings, and daydreaming. To stop myself working the whole day and actually cap myself at those 3 to 4 hours, what I do is I just plan a bunch of things that I was going to be doing the rest of the day. Whether it's groceries, cooking, chilling with a friend, gym. By consistently giving yourself less time to do all your work, you're training yourself to work faster. This is based on Parkinson's law. The work you're doing expands to fill the time that you're giving it. If I give myself just 1 hour to film this video, then I'll probably finish that in this hour itself. But if I give myself the whole day to do it, then inevitably it would end up taking the whole day. Another big challenge that the book talks about is actually resisting distractions during this 3 to 4 hour deep work time. And despite what the book says, in my experience, I think it's just really hard to eliminate all forms of distractions. But what you need to learn to do is you need to gradually train yourself to resist them during those 3 to 4 hours of deep work. And to be honest, I am working on this. It is really hard to do this 100%, and I do end up struggling with it a lot. But whenever I'm tempted, I remind myself that the more I indulge in a distraction like checking my phone, the more I'm conditioning my brain's wiring to be addicted to it. But every time I push through and actually try to maintain focus, I'm now instead strengthening my willpower. At the end of it, the ability to concentrate is like a muscle. And the more you limit yourself to those 3 to 4 hour deep work sessions, and the more you try and resist those distractions that come up in those 3 to 4 hours, the better you'll eventually become at focusing intensely and getting more work done in less time. Only chase the milestones that are most meaningful to you. By milestones, I basically mean those big, meaningful goals that we all have that end up getting sidetracked in the day because they aren't as urgent or important as the meetings and the deadlines we have for the next week. A few weeks ago, my friend and I were actually talking about this, and we were both kind of complaining about how our days just go by jam-packed with Zoom meetings and internship stuff, but at the end of it we never end up feeling like we've made any significant progress to the things that we care about or the things that we want to give importance to. So that's when we came up with the idea of milestone tasks, a list of specific weekly tasks on the big milestones or meaningful goals that we have and that we want to make progress on. We would share our weekly tasks with each other, and to keep accountability we'd also send a daily message of these milestone tasks that we want to accomplish for that day. For me, I had two main milestone goals. One was regular exercise, and the second one was actually starting this YouTube channel and building on a website I created a few months ago for IB and A-level students. For you, it could be building on your network, maybe getting started on a sport, learning a skill, even spending more quality time with the people you care about. Literally any goal that gets sidetracked in the day because of your responsibilities. It's really simple and easy, but by sending these messages every day, keeping ourselves accountable like this, we're gradually making progress towards the milestone tasks, the big meaningful goals that we want to give importance to that would otherwise just get ignored. This is a huge work in progress for me, but by keeping the milestones in the forefront of my mind, I get through the other work I have so much faster so that I can just jump on doing fun things like working out or filming this video. By focusing on the vital few for every project or exam you have and eliminating or delegating the rest. By giving yourself and limiting yourself to these 3 to 4 hour time blocks of deep work. And by chasing the meaningful goals, the milestones that actually matter to you, you'll end up creating this ability to work a lot faster, and you'll dramatically decrease the amount of man hours you're putting into the work every day. If you want more guidance, I really suggest reading the book Deep Work, and if you really can't be asked to read, then watch a summary online. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that helped. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe for more content in the future, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.